Morning, guys. It is Wednesday. I'm here at work. I had a little busy morning because so I looking up on Google search here on Hawaii, and I went over to look for a chef's supply store because I wanted to see if I could get a tomato knife from them that fairly inexpensive. But I guess the problem with the island is things come and go. Specialty shops such as what I got here come and go. They just go out of business. They don't last very long sometimes. So I went on a wild goose chase and went looking for a store that no longer exists. So in that case, I ran over to the bank and put a little money that I had gotten from my uncle for my birthday. I put a little money in my account to check out Amazon Prime. So I was going through Amazon Prime, and I was not getting the option for free 2-day shipping. And so I gave him a call. The first gal I talked to, she really didn't know what was going on or what that was about. So I just got off the phone with somebody else, and they were a lot more helpful. And basically, because I live out here in Hawaii, yes, there is no free 2-day shipping. But however, the nice thing is that the shipping is free. So as long as it's a Prime item, it's free shipping. So that's kind of a plus right there in itself. Yes, I know, I wish I would have got the free 2-day, but so right now I am trying out a trial membership. It's free. It's a trial, and by the end of the trial, if I like it or whatnot, I'll renew it, or if I want to. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's unfortunate that I don't get the free 2-day shipping, so that's a bummer. But at least the shipping is free. That does save me money in the long run, so it's still a win for me. But yeah, so I'm on Amazon Prime. How about that? I'm just trying it out right now. So trying it out right now, and we'll see how that goes. So yes, I got to work. Man, I was really hoping that I was going to be able to get to that chef supply store and find a cheap tomato knife just to try it out and see if I could alter it and make it into the glove. I even brought my gloves so I didn't cut my hands up. So that's the other thing. I'm really happy because I'm going to use a pair of these gloves for my own, so I don't jack my hands up so much, especially messing around with a knife. You want to dull the blade and everything. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that is what's going on as of right now. Here's the glove. Started an aging process to it, so that's what's nice about these gloves being pretty much white, beige. You can start the aging will take to it really good. And here I start a little bit, and basically you can see what you do with toothbrush, and you just kind of, that's the effect. A little bit of wood stain, and basically what you want to achieve is this. I noticed the one thing you want to do with these is the seams. You need to darken them up a lot more than everything else. So all these creases areas, they're really dark. Over here in the finger fold, you see how the leather pulls away from the seam. So you just kind of go against it with the brush and also get in there. Because you don't want to have, if the minute you can see that in between the creases they're lighter, like that, you want to make sure you get in there and darken that up, because that will show that. And then you see how it folds over like that. It just adds to the realism of the really distressed look. Well, guys, I'm heading home, so hopefully this video is not too rocky. But set up the camera here in a tripod. I was talking to my friend about the Amazon Prime because I started off with the I guess it's like a free trial, so they're doing like, I don't know, is it like 30 days for free or something like that. After that, I have the option of paying by every month, which is, I think it's like $11 a month, or I can pay the annual So, but for now, I'm trying the free trial run, and that's what I'm on right now. And so I'm seeing if the tomato knife, how quickly it shows up. A friend of mine that has Prime, she told me that it does arrive rather quickly. One of the key things she said is it arrives a lot faster than versus when she didn't have Prime. So that's always a good sign, and always good to talk to somebody that actually does it rather than the company itself. Because sometimes they don't provide you accurate information. They're just trying to provide you with information at the same time cover their butts because they don't want to tell you one thing and then it's not, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I found the cool thing today because I have that trial membership. I found that it's really awesome, and I know one of you, I think it was you, Bob, that told me that you have access to a great deal of their movies that you can stream and watch for free right off of Amazon. That is true. I did see a few things that I wanted to watch, and in fact I watched a little bit of something earlier just to see, and yes, indeed, that's pretty cool. That alone right there is pretty awesome. So, you know, my overall thought of it, even if you did pay the $100 for the year or the $11 a month, it is absolutely worth it. I believe even if you ordered only 2 things a month or 1 thing a month, I think that $11 would definitely pay for the shipping in itself, because their shipping prices are not cheap when you do regular shipping. So I definitely like that. I think it's worth it, and especially if you pay the annual fee, which is the $100 for the year, I believe. So that would even be even cheaper than the $11 a month, and that would cover your shipping, you know, pretty much right there. So the way I look at it is within the year, if you paid the annual fee, if you just rounding it off at $10 a pop for shipping, if you ordered 10 things, then that would be your shipping right there, and it does ship out faster. So we'll see. I did a test order today with the tomato knife, just 1 tomato knife, and we'll see what happens with that. So, all right, home for the day. Long day. Wish I would have been able to bring my book because it was a boring day, but it's okay. I was watching some Amazon Prime stuff. Oh, we have a culprit. There's a culprit. Done it 3 times. Oh, there's a gecko. There's a gecko. Geckos. Brought my files because I thought I was going to be able to get a tomato knife, but no, there is no Chef Supply store. Yes, I am a fan of Prime. It's pretty good. It's not too bad so far. We'll see. I did do a test order, so we'll see how that goes. See how the shipping speed is. Again, I talked to a friend of mine, and what she had told me that, you know, yes, it does. Her words were, her stuff that she orders does arrive faster than before when she didn't have Prime. So she doesn't regret it, and I'm not sure how much stuff she actually orders herself off of there, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll see. I'm testing it out. Free trial anyway. When it comes time to renewing it, it's going to be up to me, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, before we get out of here, we'll talk about a movie, as always. And this is a movie that I actually bought on Vlog, so we're going to talk about it. What is it? Come on. I got it right here. John Wayne McQ. McQ is the first cop movie that John Wayne had done. The other one is Brannigan, but McQ was the first one in response to Dirty Harry. John Wayne actually, I believe, story goes, he turned down the role of Dirty Harry, but then, of course, later the success, so the Duke busted out with his very own And if you ask me, I'm really glad that, in a sense, I mean, if you think about it, we really got two awesome movies, and more movies to carry on. I really think that Clint Eastwood took that role and made it his own. But in the other side of that, always the question of, well, what would have Dirty Harry been like if John Wayne had taken it? Well, here's your answer: McHugh. McHugh is awesome. This is a great movie. This is one of my favorite Duke films for sure. McHugh. This is now, if I remember right, the cool thing about this movie is, if you really look at it, how many different guns he had throughout this movie. He had I believe he had like either a 6 or a 4-inch barreled python, Colt Python, and then that's like right away in the beginning when you first see John Wayne, and then he gets it taken away because he shoots one of the bad guys trying to assassinate him. He goes to the trunk of his car, breaks open a special hatch, pulls out a snubby python, holsters that thing. I guess he has to get rid of that because he resigns. He just throws his badge down and goes, you know what, too much politics, and he says, the guy said to him, he says, Lon, he goes, do you mean to infer? He goes, I can refer anything I want. I'm a civilian again. Really great lines he has, and he says, let him go. He never was part of the team. He says, that's right, don't rock the boat. So after that, I believe he has a Smith & Wesson Model 10 snubby. That's really neat, because I got one of those, and I'm like, wow, I like that gun. That's my favorite gun. So he carries that for a while, and then he moves on to a Browning high power. And then from that he sees the Mac 10 machine gun, and he acquires that, and he keeps his Browning high power. So he does have quite an arsenal in this movie. He does acquire quite a few different guns, which I like about that. It's really neat. So it's also got Alaterry in it. Alaterry is just the infamous bad guy of the time. What's the other movies that he stands out in? One of the ones he really stands out to me in is Mr. Majestic with Charlie Bronson. He's Renda, and what's funny is Alaterry carries a Colt Python in Mr. Majestic and The Getaway with Steve McQueen. So, but he was kind of like the bad guy of the 70s, it seemed like. So, but Alaterry's in it. Of course, I remember Alaterry also in The Godfather. But no, Alaterry's in it. Gulager, I think that's how you say it. Mr. Distinctive Voice, I always call him. But this is a really interesting movie. I really liked it. It had a lot of. I liked also the scene where he's walking down the hallway, and one of the guys gets in his face, and he's like, come on. He goes, go ahead. He goes, pull your piece out, blast me in front of all these people, and he just kicks the guy in the knee or something. The guy goes down. Other officer goes, what happened? He's bumped into a chair. And there's obviously no chairs in the place. And one of the best Duke punches on screen definitely is when he goes over. Alaterry's character Santiago is in the bathroom, and he says, yep. He's on the phone. He goes, well, that's one less detective we have to worry about. So, and lo and behold, who's right behind him when he says it? He says, that's, of course, that's the Duke. And he breaks into him, and he just lets him have it. One good one. And he says, what's the matter? No confession? And he hits him. And, of course, the outcome, that's how he has to be forced to resign, or he decides to resign. I think they were going to penalize him or something for it, so he resigns. But they tell him, Santiago says his men says you attacked him in the bathroom. And he says, never laid a hand on him, slipped and fell. He says, his men says otherwise. He says, they're his men. But anyway, it's got a great set of just all kinds of stuff in this movie that really is just awesome. Always liked the cover. I believe it's always remained that same cover too. There he is in the back, reloading his Browning high power. The one cop no one can stop, even the cops. So, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna see how this Prime thing goes. I'll catch you later. And you, Mr. Bruce, hanging out here. Glad you showed up again.